So welcome to week 4. Quick reminder on the effort level to work at. We're aiming for a level 4. So at that point you can feel that your heart's beating a little bit faster, you can feel that you're breathing a little bit faster than normal. You can still talk in full sentences, but you couldn't necessarily sing a song. So by working at that level, you will get the benefits of what we're trying to do. So we're going to use the same format as we have in the previous 3 weeks, but I've got some slightly different alternatives for some of the exercises. Main safety thing, work at the right level for you, don't work through any pain. If you feel that you are more breathless than you would expect from what you've done, just have a rest, just take it easy. We will do each exercise for up to 60 seconds, but you just work for as much of that 60 seconds as is appropriate. Okay, if you need any equipment, water, chair, weights, band or cans if you've got them. So just make sure you have got water and you have got a chair available. And we'll start with a mobilisation and a warm-up. So if you start with the mobilisation first, you're standing with your feet together. Toes out to 45 degrees and heels out to join them. I'm just going to stop my heater. Okay, otherwise you might not be able to hear me. So toes out, heels out, piece of string starting here, just lengthening you up so you're standing up as tall as you can. Roll the shoulders forwards, roll them up and back down as if you're sliding them down in the back pockets of your trousers. So tummy pulled in, we're going to try and hold that posture and just start mobilising all the joints. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, turn your head to the right. Breathe back into the middle, and over to the left. Aim to keep your shoulders down low. Breathe back into the middle, over to the right, back into the middle, and out to the left. Back to the middle and chin comes onto your chest, so you're stretching out the back of the neck. Breathe in, look straight ahead, and then just tilt your head backwards slightly so you're looking up to your ceiling. And back to the centre. So we'll do some big shoulder circles forwards. So you are working to your full range of movement. And changing direction. And again, finishing as if you're putting them down into your back pockets. And then bring the arms forwards to shoulder height. Now we're going to open out, this is called star arms, so we're going to open out on a diagonal, back to the middle, breathing out, back to the middle. Breathing out, back into the middle, out, back to the middle, one more in each direction. So bringing them forwards again, take the arms out wide, elbows out wide, as if you're holding a big ball. Now if you have any back issues, let your hips go with this one. So Mary, let your hips go with shoulders. If you don't have any back issues, you can keep your hips facing forwards. Just breathing out as you're coming off the midline, and breathing in as you come back to the middle. One more in each direction. And then extend the arms forwards again, but this time palms flat to the ceiling. Pull back and push forwards. Pull back, so you might feel another little stretch across the chest as you're pulling back. On the next one, keep the elbows in the pulled back position. And then we'll just work on the shoulders. Little bit of external rotation. So you rotating to point the hands up to the ceiling. Keep your tummy pulled in there, because if you have stiff shoulders, it can cause your back to arch. And you want to keep that stable. Just do one more. And then bring your arms down to your sides. Okay, so we need to loosen up around the middle. So big breath in again. Keep the weight on each feet equally as you slide down to the right. Back into the middle and over to the left. Back to the middle, over to the right. And the left. One more each way. And then loosening up through the hips. Recommend you hold on for this one, or just have something that you can support yourself on should you need to. So we're coming to the flamingo. So just starting with the right leg. You're just letting that leg swing a little bit, brushing the floor. I'll show you side on as well. So you're just getting that forwards, backwards movement. And we'll change sides. And back to the centre. So we need to warm the legs up in each direction as well. So we're going to do the compensatory stepping that we did for the first time last week. So again, if you're a bit unsteady, I would recommend holding on. I'm going to hold on because who knows, that could be quite unsteady. So stepping forwards, out to the side, and backwards. And you can just vary how much you're bending those knees. It could be that you're just coming off centre, or it could be that you're coming into a deeper lunge. And just be guided by how strong your legs feel and how your knees are. So just practicing those movements, getting the legs going in each direction. We'll do one more on this side. Okay, and then we'll change sides. So as you're doing it, try and keep your body up really tall. So don't let the body follow that leading leg. You want to try and keep your body weight halfway between the legs. That's looking good. You might start to feel that heart rate's increasing a little bit now. Breathing might be getting a little bit faster. I'm making this the last one. Excellent. Okay, so we'll come into our warm-up. So we're going to pick it up gradually. We'll start off with marching. So you're finding your own rhythm, it's comfortable. And then we're going to come into swing and sway. So the feet are a little bit wider, just swinging the arms side to side. You can bend the knees in the middle if you want to, but you don't have to. Just transferring the weight one foot to the other. And then we'll come back to marching. Pick it up a little bit if you want to, but just very aware that you're looking for that level 4. Trying to maintain that throughout. And then we'll come into squatty dog. I'll show you side on because it's easier to see. Opposite arm and leg. Tap back with one leg, bring the opposite arm forwards. One more each side. And we're back to marching. So we're going to take the arms out to the side this time, arms and legs. We're going to come into a half jack. In 3, 2, 1, and out to the side. Last one each side and then back to marching. And off we go. Okay, so we're going to finish the warm-up with something a little bit different. It's a bit of a brain test as well. And I know what it's like going through chemo, so don't worry if the brain's not working too well. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. So keep marching. When I say 1, clap your hands overhead. If I say 2, we go for angel arms. If I say 3, just go for a few fast feet and then back to marching. Okay, so 1 is clap overhead, 2, angel arms, 3, fast feet, which could just be a bigger march. Okay, so back to marching. 2, 2, 3, back to marching, and 1, 1, 1, 3, and 2. Well done. Okay, so hopefully you're all feeling a little bit warmer, a bit ready to go. So we'll start the circuit. Our first one is marching as we are, or into a gentle jog if you want to. And I will give you a couple of times. I'll give you a fast feet tag, and if you want to do a fast feet, you can, but you don't have to. So 60 seconds in 3, 2, 1, off we go. So when we're at 25 seconds and 55 seconds, I'll say fast feet, and if you want to, you can do fast feet for 5 seconds. Get the elbows coming back, knees up. Okay, fast feet. And back to marching. Coming up to fast feet again, so getting ready if you want to. In 3, 2, 1, and fast feet. And back to marching. Okay, so we're going to do bicep curls next. With the band or with your weights. You're holding the band. Just make sure that you've got your thumbs to the ceiling, it's probably easier. Curling up. With the weights again, holding forwards, curling up. You only need to curl up to here. And make sure that the wrist stays strong. So you don't need to do that. That can hurt the wrist. So it's just up to here. In 3, 2, 1, off you go. You can choose whether to do both arms together or whether to do one at a time, so one gets a rest while you then work the other one. So you just keep the elbows tucked into the waist, then also protecting the elbow joint. Nice curling. So we've done 30 seconds. .45 done. Last 5 seconds. 2, 1, and hold it there. So our first lower body exercise is calves, but we're actually going to work the glutes as well. So we're going to do heel raises, but the first lot we're going to do, bring your heels back together. So toes are out at 45 degrees, but your heels are touching. And if you look, you should see that I've got no gapping between my ankles, calves, knees. And I'm going to come up onto the balls of my feet, hold on if you need to, but squeeze the legs together so that no gapping appears, okay? So you'll find you're working down the full length of the leg because you've got to keep them squeezed together. Off we go. We're going to do this for 30 seconds, but it's not a rush. The slower and the more controlled that you can do it, the better. Really squeeze. We've done 15 seconds. Obviously, it's very good for balance as well, this one. And stop there. Okay, so for the last 30 seconds, we're going to bring the heels back out in line. Again, hold 2. Come up for a count of 2. And then back down. So you're coming up slower than you're coming down. Off we go. So as you come up, try and have the weight go through your big toe and your second toe to keep the ankles in line. You've done 15. Last one, and rest it there. Okay, so we're going seasonal with our next cardio exercise. We're going skiing. So hands up and you're swooshing down the hill. So side on, looks like that. Okay, off we go. Again, just work to your own effort level. So even by going quite slowly, it can still be quite hard because you're getting a lot of power through those arms. Remember to keep breathing. We've done 45 seconds already. You can see the bottom of the slope coming up. And rest it there. Okay, so our upper body exercise, we're going to work the chest. We're going to do press ups, but we're going to make them wide grip press ups. So whereas normally you're in that position, this time you're going to have the arms out wider, and if your wrists will allow, have your hands out to the side. Okay, so it will look like that. Keep the heels on the floor if you can, if flexibility will allow, and then you'll get a stretch in the calves as well. 60 seconds, starting now. You want to break them up into sets of 8 and have a rest after each 8. You've done 15 seconds. Good. You've done 30 seconds. So trying to get the chest into the wall. Try and keep your head in line with the rest of the spine. 15 seconds left. And resting there. Okay, so our lower body exercise, we're going to work the inner and outer part of the thigh. 2 ways you can do it. You can either just take a step to the side and back, and you don't have to do a big knee bend with that, so try and get your heel down first, or you can start with the legs wider apart and then just change weight. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So I'll do it this way to start, and then I'll change it halfway. And you should feel the front of the thighs working, and as you leave that leg behind, you're working the inner thigh. Again, try and keep your body up tall, try and keep it halfway between the legs. So I'm going to change, so I'm going to now step out and back. My heel's coming down first, so it kind of acts as a break. 15 seconds to go. Last 5 seconds. And stopping there. Okay, we're staying seasonal. We haven't done this one before, so just keep your feet moving and I'll just show you, describe. So it's called skating. So first level, you can just take one leg behind the other. Okay. Second level, as you do that, just lean forward and touch that front knee. Third level, just get the arm a little bit higher behind you and increase your range of movement. Okay. So if it's don't worry if you're not kind of doing it as coordinated, it's just keeping moving. One for your first level. 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'll show you the full one, but that's just in case anybody wants to do it. You can see what I'm doing. So side on. You're over halfway through. Three, 2, 1, and stop in there. Just give your legs a little bit of a stretch out. So for the next 2, we need the chair. This one is a triceps extension. The reason we do it from seated is because then you can isolate those muscles a little bit better without using the back to do the work. So if you're using a band, just place it on the chair and sit down, and then bring your hands up so you're holding it just above your head. So then my elbows are quite wide. I'm bringing them forwards, keeping them close, and pulling up. Now you can do that single arm, but then just support the arm. Okay, if you're doing it with weights, again, depending on how heavy your weights are, you can do it with one or both hands. I'll assume that they're heavy, so we're just doing both arms together. Start with the arms overhead, bringing it down and back up. But again, you're trying to keep the elbows forwards, keep them into the head. Okay, off we go. So try and breathe out on the effort. So, I'll show you again. Arms up to the ceiling, elbows into the side of the head, hands down behind, and push back up. So use bending at the elbow to take back up a bit closer from here, and then just coming to there, and back up. That's it, spot on. Again, just do a couple with the weights for the last, with the band. Good. So you should feel the back of the upper arm. And resting there. Okay, so as we're seated, we'll come into a sit-to-stand. Just make sure that you've got your feet hip width apart, have them pulled back a little bit, so you can then have your weight forwards and come up to standing. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. If you prefer to do a squat, you can. And really try and control that movement coming back down. So try not to plop back down into the seat. Trying to really control the movement. My chair squeaks, so I don't know if you can hear that. Halfway through. Ten seconds to go. And finishing there. Okay. So the next one can be quite a tough one. So if there's anybody that wants to work a little bit harder, I'll show you the full version. Pulling the arms down as you're lifting the knees up. You can actually do that from a seated position. Still quite hard, but you don't have the balance challenges. Okay, or you can just focus on arms or legs. 60 seconds in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Remember to keep breathing. You're over 45 seconds, well, 15 seconds through, 45 to go. 30 seconds through. Last 15. Three, 2, 1, stopping there. Okay, so next one, we are going to work the shoulders again. I'll show you the weights version first. So again, you can do it standing or seated. So we're going to bring the arms forwards, only to shoulder height. So shoulders stay low, bring the arms forwards, and back down. And you can work one or both arms as you choose. You can do it with the weight, but you can only do one arm at a time. So the long end comes out of the toe. Hold it so that when the arm is about at 45 degrees, you can feel a little bit of tension. And again, only bring to shoulder height. When you're working one arm, just make sure you're keeping your shoulders level so you're not twisting with the body, okay? I'll tell you every 15 seconds so you know where we are and you can choose, off we go, choose to change arms. Again, breathing out on the effort. So breathe out, back in. 15 gone. Great work. And that just pause at the top is really good. 30 seconds gone, so I'm changing over. $15 to go. Make sure the knuckles stay to the ceiling. And the last one. Brilliant. Okay, so next one again, I just need to show you because it's a new one. So just keep your feet moving. It's an alternative for that one. So you can do it with weights, but you don't have to. We're going to take one foot back, keep your feet hip width apart, just come onto the toes. So your standing leg, straight one, isn't locked. You've got a little bend in it. Then you're going to push the hips back. And when you get to about here, you should start to feel that the glutes, the bottom, you're feeling those muscles working. And down into the hamstring. So you might decide that's far enough. And you come back up. So the weight is virtually all on that straight leg. Are the ones there for balance, just on your toes. Slight bend in the leg. Coming forwards, you'll start feeling it. And back. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's not about speed. It's about trying to make sure that you're activating those right muscles. So 1 foot back. If you're holding the weights, you can just hold them down to the floor if you want to. Keeping the back straight, just hinging from the hips, almost pushing the hips backwards. Just work to the range of movement where you can feel it, but you still feel fairly comfortable. And I'm changing legs. And stopping there. Interested to know how you get on with that one. So back to the cardio exercise, and we're going to do spotty dog. Do grab a drink if you need to. So just as a reminder, spotty dog, you're tapping 1 foot back, bringing the opposite arm forwards. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1, off we go. You have 15 seconds to go. Some good work going on there, like it. Last 5, 3, 2, 1, and easing off. So we're going to work the back for the upper body exercise with a bent over row. Chair coming's in useful because it helps you get into the right position. So if I show you with the weight first, just have your the back knee and your back arm on the chair. Sorry, your knee's not on the chair, your knee's bent, but the arm's on the chair. And then your hands just hands down to the floor. You're then going to pull up as if you're starting a lawnmower. But again, just keep the wrist in line with the body. With the weight, same thing, but you've got the weight, the band, long end of the band coming out of the side of that same side foot. And pull up. Off we go. So again, as with the front raise, try and just hold it for a beat at the top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and try and keep your back flat. So you're not twisting to lift. You're just getting that elbow high, squeezing in the back. Getting ready to change arms. And change. This side, off we go. Good. Last 3, 2, 1, and stop there. Okay, so our last lower body exercise, split squat pulse. It's not as bad as it sounds. Well, I say that. So we're starting in split squat position. So from standing, take one foot back, but make sure the feet stay hip width apart. So you want to be standing on train tracks, not a tightrope. Heel off the floor. From there, you're just bending the knees. Imagine you've got a heavy library book on your head, just pushing you down. Now, you can either have not such a heavy book, so you're only slightly off straight, but you can have quite a heavy book. From there, we're just going to pulse. So it's obviously a little bit easier if you're higher up. Pulse. Off we go. Going to change over at 30 seconds. Small movements. We keep moving so that we keep the circulation going. And keep breathing. You're halfway through on this side. And change over. So bring your feet back together, step back on the other side, make sure your feet are hip width apart. Back heel off the floor, heavy book on the head, and pulsing. And halfway through on this side. And stop there. Okay, just give the legs a little bit of a shake. And we're coming up to our last cardio element, which is another march. And again, I'll give you fast feet options. I'll give you 10 seconds. You don't have to do the whole 10 seconds. You don't have to do it at all. It's an option. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So last 60 seconds of cardio. Fast feet if you want to. Halfway through. and back to marching. And again, last fast feet if you want to. Last 10 seconds. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and stop there. Great work. Okay, just walk around a little bit, get yourselves a drink. We'll come on to the core element. I'm just going to bring my chair forwards. So we're going to start with pelvic floor. So we need feet hip width apart. So to do that, again, we can do toes out to 45 degrees and heels out, so ankles, knees, hips are all in line. We're then going to bring the forearms onto the thighs, so we're in a nice relaxed position. Try not to look forwards to the monitor because that will just contract the back of the neck. So just have your head forwards a little bit, maybe a spot about 6 feet in front of you on the floor. Okay, so you're going to pull up through the back passage as if you're trying to stop wind, and then shift your focus forwards, trying to stop the flow of urine. So holding up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Don't worry if you can't hold it for the 5, just hold it for as long as you can. And then pulling up, again through the back, shifting your focus to the front, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. If you can hold it for longer than that, that's absolutely brilliant. Okay, same again. So pulling up. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, squeezing up through the back, round to the front, pulling up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One thing I noticed I was doing there was clenching the buttocks, so make sure you're not doing that. They should stay nice and relaxed on the seat. So pulling up through the back, around to the front, pulling up, keep the glutes, the buttocks relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Okay, so that was for slow twitch muscles. We're going to do it again for fast twitch. So instead of holding, we're contracting and releasing. Okay, we'll see if we can go for 10. Okay, so pulling in, get your squeeze and release. Pull in, squeeze and release for 2. Pull in and release. And again, you don't have to stay with me, just do it as and when you find that contraction. Okay, pulling up and release. Make sure you're keeping your glutes relaxed. And out, let's go for another 2. Last one. And relax, well done. Okay, excellent work. Keep your feet where they are. Bring your hands across your chest. I'm going to show you this one side on. We have done it before, so if you've done the session before, you'll be familiar. Chin just tucked down into your chest. And then keeping the feet on the floor and the back straight. You're just bringing the shoulders to the back of your chair. Just work to your own range, you don't have to touch. And then pull back forwards. So again, breathing out, keep the tummy pulled in. Do it nice and slowly so those muscles are staying under tension. And squeezing, control it back. We'll go for another 4. So the reason we do it with a straight back, not a curl, is so that if there's anybody that has osteoporosis, it's not putting extra pressure on the spine. I lost count now because I spoke. I think that's 2 to go. Great work. So we're going to work the obliques. These muscles that come around the side that we use when we're twisting, bending, getting in and out of cars. So again, either hands to your shoulders and just turning out to the side, back into the middle and turning, small move. If you want to work it a little bit more challenging, hands to ears, turning. And then optionally, if you want, lift the knee that you're heading towards. You're not aiming to touch knee to elbow. You're just changing your centre of gravity. So you've got to work to stabilise as well. Keep the shoulders relaxed. So even though your hands are to your ears, don't let the shoulders come up to the ears. And back to the middle. Now, if you have weights, you can hold on to them on each side. Sorry, I didn't tell you you needed the weights. You can do this from a standing position using the band. It's probably not so easy from a seated position. So if you don't have weights, just do it body weight only. Breath in, and then as you breathe out, slight bend to the side, and back to the middle. In fact, while you're doing that, I will stand up and show you the band one so that you can do it on your own if you want to. So I'm standing on the band with both feet. And again, just coming down to the side. Key thing to remember when you're standing is to make sure that the front to back alignment is good. So it's as if you're standing between 2 panes of glass. Do 1 more in each direction. Okay, and then come to standing. We're going to do the incline plank. I'm putting my chair against the wall, but you can do it on the wall unless you have a chair that you know isn't going to move. So hands on the seat of the chair or on the wall, 1 leg back, tummy pulled in, other leg back. We're going to hold that position and you're going to pull the belly button in towards your spine. So pull in and release. Pull in, release. Make sure you can't feel anything in your back. If you can, reduce your incline. So if you're there, maybe come to here instead. Okay, just so you're protecting the back. Do a couple more squeezes. And back to standing. Okay. So we've just got a couple of additional balance exercises to do. First one we'll do pendulum. So again, standing up really tall, support if you need it, and bringing one foot out to the side. Keep the toes pulled up and try and stand as tall as you can. The temptation is either to do that or to do that because it is quite hard. Thing to remember is you're not going for height on this, so you're only trying to take the leg out a certain distance. And changing sides. And last one. Okay, so we're going to come into tandem stance. When we get in it, I'm going to ask you to hold it while I show you something else that you can do on your own, but probably not today. Okay, so bring your right foot forwards and tuck your heel into the toes on the left foot. So now you are standing on a tightrope. You can either keep supported or you can just bring the arms out. Okay. Now, I want you to just hold that. This is a tandem stance. When you have support, so say along a wall, or if you're in the kitchen with the kitchen worktop, you can try the walk. And it's heel to toe the whole way. Again, it looks easy, it's not that easy. If you're fine going forwards, in fact now, change your legs over, change your feet over, so bring the other foot forwards. Again, get your balance. So again, if you try the forward tandem walk, you can try it backwards. But I would strongly recommend, if you haven't done it before, do it where you've got something that you can just maintain your balance the whole way, either a wall or a kitchen work surface. Well done, so we'll do some stretching. We'll start with calves. Okay, so right foot back, heel off the floor. And then push the heel down as you bend the front knee. Keep that back leg straight, really try and get the heel down into the ground. You should feel a stretch in the lower leg. I'm just going to hold that. And change sides. So again, start heel off the floor, and as you push it down, you're bending that front knee, heels into the floor. Just look down, check your feet are both pointing forwards, so you haven't got one out to the side. And back to standing. Okay. So bring your right arm forwards and then across the body. Use your left hand either below or above the elbow joint to pull the arm into the chest. As you pull in, just push back a little bit, just resist into that hand. You should feel a nice stretch in the shoulder. And changing sides, so arm forwards, take it across and then bring it in. So because we work the triceps, we need to stretch those. I'm going to kneel down, but you don't have to. It's just so that you can see what I'm doing without me fiddling with my camera. So take that arm overhead and then bend at the elbow so you're bringing the palm of your hand onto the nape of the neck, or as well as you can reach. And then just use this hand to support the joint Maybe pulling it back a little bit so you get the stretch down there. And changing sides. So hand to the ceiling, onto the nape of the neck or where you can reach. And then just using the other hand to support it. And then we'll have both arms forwards but elbows wide. Overlap your fingers. Drop your chin onto your chest. And push forwards but keeping the width on the elbows. I want you to feel a stretch between the shoulder blades. And then hands onto the small of the back. Squeeze the elbows together. I'm quite flexible, so I prefer interlinking the fingers and then squeezing the elbows together. And then bring the hands down to the sides. Shoulders up to the ears. And relax. So I'm just standing up again. We're going to use the chair to stretch out the glutes and hamstrings. And make sure it's somewhere it's not going to slip. Hands on the back of the chair. And then just take a step back. And bend the elbows so that you're trying to bring your chest roughly parallel to the floor. But you're pushing your hips back to do it so you're getting that stretch down the back of the legs. Just going to hold it there. Okay, loosen off, we'll do that one more time. And again, just bend, hips back, keep the legs straight but not locked. And you back up. Arms down by your sides. Rotate and squeeze together. And relax. And then take a big breath in, float the arms up to the ceiling. Stretch up. Back down. And yet again, great work.